CVS makes it easy for us. Everything we need in one place with affordable prices.
Welcome back to the channel. I missed you. Thank you for being here. Today we have a video production shoot recap. If you check out one of my recent videos, this is what this video was supposed to be. But because of a little scheduling mishap, we had to move it to the following week. Paint the picture. It is now Thursday of the following week, and this campaign goes out that Sunday of that weekend. There was a need for an expedite on the editing, so I had to shoot this and get it edited and approved within the next day, 2 days at the very latest. This shoot was in Evanston, Illinois. This was another shoot with CVS. I've done a previous one with them very recently. That video is also on this channel. And they had an NIL partnership with some Northwestern swimmers. And the deliverables were the main piece being a 40 to 45, 50-ish max edited vertical reel, but also in horizontal form. Works for me because I love horizontal. And then about 15 to 20 edited photos. But the actual shoot itself was a little bit more of a production. It required a script, a voiceover, a little acting, and some product placement. On Thursday, I drove about 40, 45 minutes to the CVS, the correct one this time. And I got there a little early, just get everything set up and talk to the staff. Once I got inside, I found the staff, introduced myself, explained what I was there for.
Yeah, I'm just trying to fill the liquid IVs.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, I appreciate you guys doing this. The shoot was at like 5 o'clock. It was pretty busy, especially towards the end. So when I got there and talked to the workers, I explained the vision of the video and where we'd be shooting at. The idea was to have a handful of products and then walking down the aisles. So I explained which aisles we're gonna go down. I also asked where some things were, so I knew exactly where they were. We walked through. They were very, very, very nice, very accommodating. If you're watching this, shout out all of you. You all were amazing. While they got everything set up, I went and set my gear up. They let me behind the counter, so that was pretty cool. And I made sure I had everything as well, a brown paper bag, because that was supposed to be part of the video. I also asked some questions about the extra care program because that's what this video is also centered around. The main one being my Sony FX3 and my secondary angle being my Sony a7 IV. I had a 24-70 lens, which you're seeing right here. I had an 85mm, which you're seeing right there. And then also a 16mm for a wide angle. I had a variety of shots going on. I had them all planned out. We just had to execute, and that's what we did. And setting my gear up, as you see here, I am taping my tripod. And I have been doing this for a while. Like, I mean a while, because I have a very nice tripod. I invested in this tripod. One of the sides is very slides. It would never stay still. I'd have to tape it if I want to go to a certain height requirement, which sucked because I couldn't move quickly. Like, whatever I taped that at, it was staying there for the duration of the shoot because also the tape would get stuck. So I've been doing that for quite some time now. If I just would have spent a little brain power, it was just a screw. I just needed to screw something in. I figured that out after this shoot. Got that set up, walked through the aisles, just did a little more debrief for the workers. Just like slow-mo shots, kind of close-ups, laughing and stuff.
Cool, yeah.
We're gonna go ahead and get started. We'll just start here and then just work our way back over there.
Yeah.
Originally, it was supposed to be 4 swimmers. That went down to 3. Cool. We adjust the script. Went back up to 4. Cool. Adjust the script. Day before, went back down to 3. I'm gonna be honest, that was cool because I hadn't got to the point of adjusting the script back to 4 girls. So, hey, it worked out. Now we're day of shoot. Now it's 2 girls. It happens. What do I be telling y'all? Expect curveballs. And what do? We pivot. So you know what we did? We pivoted. Is that the right word? Yeah. We pivot. Like those curveballs, we adjust, we keep moving. And that's what we did. My scripts, the paper script I had for them to read, had 3 girls. I explained it to them. One of you guys are gonna have to share this 3rd girl's line. They were cool with it. They adjusted it too. We balled. While I was finished getting everything ready and the workers were make sure the shelves were all good to go, the girls arrived. I actually gave them the script just to get them familiar with what they're gonna be saying. So a lot of these things with these shoots, I understand what it's like to have a camera in your face, and some things are a little awkward. I've been a collegiate and professional videographer for about 7 years now. Videographer in general for about over a decade now. I still understand what it's like, especially doing this more now. Like, I really, really, really understand what it's like trying to talk to a camera. So, you know, when I'm with these individuals, I just try and explain it's gonna be awkward. Just have faith, right? Like, I'm gonna do my job. I'm not gonna let you look stupid. I want this to look cool. I want you to look cool. Just give me your best and I'll give you my best, and we're gonna make some art. So the plan was, we had the path. We had, not counting checkout, we had 5 different spots I wanted to go to. The goal was just to go through different times for different reasons. So the first one was, had them walk in the door, you know, like they're shopping, grab their cart, and then go down the aisle to the first location. So the first time through, I had my Sony FX3 and a 24-70 lens on, and I was just getting handheld shots. Just got different type of angles, revealing shots, low angle shots, cowboy shots, some close-ups, them laughing, them talking, them essentially just shopping, right? This was kind of the fail-safe angle, like the main angle I could always go back to and always pull from for different reasons. And right off the bat, I got one of the main shots I wanted to get, which was a camera behind one of the products on the shelves. They go and grab the products, put it in the cart, you know, and it reveals them. So for that shot, I used my Sony a7 IV with the 16mm lens. That's more of a wide angle to make sure you can actually see everything. So I had Maggie go up and grab the product, put it in the cart, they keep going. This was like one of the first shots, and it's awkward. Again, I explained it, and it's just like awkward silence. So I just told them, there's no audio here. You guys can just talk about whatever. Like, you're not gonna be here. And it honestly helps the experience of like you're actually shopping. That immediately helped. I mean, they said it in the video.
I feel like anything talking makes this so much less awkward. It does. It's so much easier.
After that, they just talked about whatever, and it helped. Like their personalities were coming out. They were just talking about whatever. The laughter came out, the smiles. It just seemed like a great shopping experience. So it doubled down, it helped. Little tips like that really help the actresses. I think you call them actresses here. Subject really helps the subject of the video. Subject sounds crazy to say because it sounds like a testing subject, but it's not. It's a subject for the video. The main characters, how's that? That sound better? And so it really just helps them relax, and it did. And it really helped throughout the video. And obviously as time went on throughout the video, you know, they also calm down, they get the routine down, they get more comfortable, and it showed. So shout out them, they did a great job. So I got that product shot immediately. And you just saw it on there, didn't you? Also, at the same time, I'm using my Sony FX3. So I'm getting two kind of shots here. And after I got that shot, I put the Sony a7 IV with the 16mm in the shopping cart, and I leaned it up. Again, just another backup angle to have. I got a couple good shots, and that's all I needed. So that was another angle I was getting there. We went through all the aisles, and we got every product that I knew they were gonna get. And then along the way, we also picked up a couple extra products just to stack the cart. So that was the first time through. Then we went through again. The second time through, I threw on this rig, the FX3 with the 24-70, put it on a tripod and got stationary shots. And this one was supposed to be a close-up of the products and their hands reaching out and grabbing those products. I really wanted those close-up shots. We just went through and everything that I showed them grabbing earlier, we went and did real quick. And with the Gatorade bottles, this is another one of those examples of having to just kind of adjust quickly on the fly. Again, shout out the workers. They made sure all these shelves looked good. They looked shoot ready. But when Maggie grabbed the Gatorades, she grabbed blue and yellow, and those weren't next to each other on the shelf. And I wanted it to appear them next to each other. So quickly, I just emptied those shelves real quick, and then I put the blue and yellow stacked together. And then she just reached in real quick and grabbed them, and then we got the shot. And then I quickly put all the Gatorades back in the shelf where they belonged. Now for the third time through. This was for the super close-ups. I just really wanted to utilize this 85mm. It's really crisp. I love this lens. But for the non-camera people, it's locked off on 85. So the 24-70 here, it's 24-70, right? What's that mean? You should know this too. With the 24-70, those numbers are focal lengths. So it goes from 24 all the way to 70 and anywhere in between. The 16mm is locked on 16. So obviously the lower the number, the wider the angle is gonna be. And that's locked off 85. That's called a prime lens. So it does really good at that focal length. It's more crispy. This does pretty solid at all those lengths. So this gives you more versatility. That's more of for a specific reason. 60mm for the more wide. Again, more of a specific reason. So I really wanted to utilize this lens. So I took them through the third time and put the 85mm on the FX3, and then I had them go through again. Sometimes they'd be moving, other times I'd tell them just to stay still, and they just continue talking to each other, laughing. Got a lot of great shots out of this. Yay, we're shopping at CVS, extra care, I love it, right? It matches the vibe, so perfect. Now I got all the shots I need. Again, it's a little tedious. Some might say excessive, but mind you, it was a one-man show, and I really wanted to make this seem like a really big, I wanted this to seem commercial grade, because that's what we do at Dragon Head Films. We give you commercial grade products. Is that ad-like? Like, did I use that to edit? No, I'm kidding. Yeah, right? Like I have the ability to do it. I was gonna do it. The last time through, I just put the a7 IV with my 16mm lens in the cart. I just had them stack items in the cart. Like, you know, you got the cart POV of them putting items in the cart. Again, just another angle. And it's one of the kind of original ones I thought of when brainstorming the shoot. So got that. It's just tiny details like this. I had them moving around. So the ceiling was different. It's a tiny detail. Most people probably won't notice. They might just notice subconsciously, but like just to give it that feel of they are moving around the store and putting different products in, rather just staying still, it's the same shot, which I can't go wrong with either. Again, it's just one of those, like I said, tiny detail things that I wanted to do. After I did that a couple times, I went and stacked some items around the camera. to make it seem like obviously the cart was getting full. And I probably could have done this one a little better, this part. Maybe stacked one, had them put more in the cart, and then stack 2 around the camera, put more in the cart, things like that. I didn't really have a mount for the cart. I just kind of leaned it up, and I also had to lean at an angle, so it was kind of difficult. Could have improved this shot, but for what it was, it did what I needed it to do. So thank you to that shot. And that was it for that part. We got almost everything we need. Now it's time for the audio. I knew they weren't gonna be on camera. This was mainly a voiceover script, but I wanted them to talk to the camera a few times while walking within the video. I essentially wanted them to break the fourth wall. Not like a setup shoot, but like they're in the middle of shopping and talk to the camera. I had 2 different spots for that. I originally had a different one for Claudia. Didn't really like the background, didn't like the spot, so I just switched again. We pivot, put her in a different location. I like this angle way better. So my original plan was for Claudia to say her line and then quickly pan the camera to Maggie and have her say her line. They did a great job executing this, but when I was editing, it just took a little longer than I expected with the pan and say her line. So I just showed, this is where the close-up shots come in handy. She actually does it in the video. Like after she says her line, I told her just to reach down and continue shopping. So she reaches down and grabs the coconut water while Maggie starts to talk. So I just, again, this is just a creative preference. Went back to that close-up of Claudia grabbing the coconut water. And I like the way that turned out better. The flow seemed better. So I knew they'd only say like the first part or the last part of their line, but just in case, I had them say the full line. In case I decide to change, it gives me some wiggle room in post. And then after they said their parts, we went and finished the voiceover that I knew would not be on camera. We just did that in an aisle. This is the best we could do. This was a little bit more of a packed CVS, so we just found a quiet aisle and then had them say their lines. They went through it really quickly. With some of these things, I just emphasize, just don't make it sound like you're reading off a script, even though you literally are. And then I had them say each line a few times, just so I can pull the best ones. Sometimes with these type of shoots, they'll say their whole line perfectly, or sometimes they'll say their whole line great, but one part might be a little off, but that part and the other time they said it is way better, and I just match it there. So I just want the best sounding flow, talking. So it just helps. One, it's more wiggle room. It's a couple backups just in case, and sometimes half of one goes better with the other half of the other. Now it was time for the checkout shot. So we went up to the front register. I started off with my FX3 with the 24-70. I had them walk up to the counter, say hello, and then start putting the items on the counter. And then the cashier, checking out the items. So then I just did this a couple different angles. I like having different angles of the same thing, to always pull from and to really help keep the viewer's attention. So now it was time to get another one of the shots I really wanted to shoot when brainstorming this video. And that was where one of the girls talking to the camera, breaking the fourth wall, saying one of the important lines like it's a secret. So saying like, extra care customers always get the best deals. You know what I mean? Like, I thought that was cool. So, I tried it out. Excellent.
Extra care customers always get the best deals.
But just in case this didn't work out, when they were doing the voiceover script, I had Claudia still say this line just in case. Important. It ended up working out, but just in case it didn't, it was nice to have. We put the items back in the cart. I put this rig, FX3 with 24-70 lens, on a tripod, and then I have it, oh, it's right there, actually. And then I have it behind them. I just had Claudia turn to the camera and like break the fourth wall.
Extra care customers always get the best deals.
Like that. I really like that shot. I thought about it beforehand. When we were actually in the moment and we got it, I knew it was a banger. I knew it was a banger, and I'm glad I got it. But again, like I said, just in case, I got that voiceover in case. Sometimes you think it's amazing, you think the shot's amazing, you put it on the computer, you go to edit it, it either doesn't fit right, doesn't look like you thought, or a number of other reasons, and you can't use it. But I'm glad I was able to use this one. I really liked it. And then I got a close-up of them using the extra care card. This was another one of the vocal points of the video, was this extra care program. So I had Maggie just scan hers. I got close-ups of her handing it, and then we were done there. And then the last main point that they wanted to focus on was the brown paper bag. So this was the final shot for the video. We put the items in a brown paper bag, and then I had them walking out, got a couple different angles, and then I had them pose with the camera. Because I knew I'd flash the CVS logo at the end, but I still wanted something just before that. So I just had them pose with the camera. And then after that, we were done with that part. We still needed to do photos. But this part was easy, so I used my A7 IV, that's what I use for pictures. and then 2 lenses, the 85 mil and then my 16 mil. Just had them walk through the aisles again, got some different shots, and then I had them pose with a couple of the products, both together and then a couple of them individuals. And then we were done with everything I needed with them. So I said thank you and sent them on their way. So lastly, I needed to get some establishing shots and some branding shots. This CVS didn't actually have that much branding, like logo, so I had to kind of work with what I had. Like one of them is a mouse pad, the heart on the mouse pad, I used that. I had the thank you Evanston, but it was too long. It would work for the horizontal video, but for the vertical, it was just too long. I got the shot, but I knew I probably wouldn't use it, and I didn't end up using it. So I worked with what I had. I also recorded one of the workers' shirts. He was super cool about it. I'm just recording his back. I wasn't supposed to record anything to do with the pharmacy part, but that was the biggest logo they had, was the CVS there. So I was gonna go shoot that, but then there was people at the counter getting their stuff. I didn't wanna point a camera at that. If there was no one there, I would've shot it, but there was some people online, and I didn't wanna go over there with a camera. And just, even though I'd be pointing up at the sign, I didn't wanna make anyone uncomfortable. So I was like, okay, whatever, we're gonna work with what we have. I got all the shots I needed. I said thank you to the workers. And then at this point, I'd been here for like 2 hours, I think. It was about 7. It was like 7 at this point, 7:15. So I had to get on out of there. It's time for me to get on out of here. So I left. And then I went home. But I wasn't really done. This video needed to be expedited. So again, with people that aren't too familiar with cameras or footage, when you shoot in 4K, that is a large file size. And Premiere Pro doesn't really like that. So if you try and edit in 4K, it's gonna freak out. It's gonna give you the rainbow wheel of death. It's not gonna like you. But 4K gives me a lot more versatility. One is higher quality. It also allows me to zoom in a lot more. A couple of the reasons, it's better to shoot in 4K. This is 4K right here. There's more pixels. There's more pixels to work with. After a shoot, what I'll do is I'll take the footage and I'll put it in my project, and then I'll do this thing called proxying. So then I'll take the footage from the project and send it to a different software called Adobe Media Encoder, and then it goes and proxy the clips. And what that essentially is doing is taking the high resolution file and creating a low resolution file of it, essentially. So then I'm able to edit it in it. So mind you, it's like when I'm editing, it's more blurry, it's not as high quality. I edit the full, especially when you get more effects and you're doing way more complicated stuff in your editing software, it really won't like the 4K. It will shut down. It will freeze, whatever. This allows me to, one, do a lot more crazier effects and just do anything. It allows me to edit it and actually play it through and watch this constantly. Because especially as editors, editors know, like when you're watching a video, you're watching it back. You're watching a second over and over and over, a couple seconds over and over. You're watching the whole thing over and over and over, like, right? To make sure to get everything right, the flows, the edits, the color, whatever you're doing. You're watching this video repeatedly. So the playback is not gonna like that 4K. It does like this lower resolution file. So you're editing in the lower resolution, but when you go to export the video, the software connects it back with the higher resolution file. So it's back in 4K or 1080p, whatever you edit, whatever you exported it in. But it puts it back in that higher resolution file. So high resolution when I shoot, low resolution when I edit, high resolution final product. That's essentially what that is. So I did that night. That usually takes some time, just depending on how many files you have, but it's late at this point. I knew I wasn't gonna touch it that night. It was gonna be an all day thing tomorrow. So I let those proxy that night, woke up the next morning, went to the gym per usual. Thankfully I get the gym out the way in the morning. So woke up early, normal time for the gym, about 5:05-ish, 5:10 the latest. That's my second alarm, 5:10, 5:05 is the first one. So after I was done with my morning routine, the rest of the day was spent editing this. So I just started going through the video, right? So I pretty much had the whole idea, the vision in my head. It's a scripted video, so pretty much everything, I just have to put everything in order, and then I just would go through. I'd find the clips I wanted. I call these things, when I create videos, I call them my skeleton, and that essentially is just like an outline of a paper is essentially what a skeleton is. And so you have your main points, the bones of the video is also why I call it a skeleton, is the bones of the video. So some different points of the video, and then I just build around that. And then, so I create the skeleton, the structural part of the video. I space out the audio, the voiceovers, put the points of them talking on camera, and then I would build around that with all those backup shots I got. Sometimes I like the initial way it would be. Sometimes I'd have to move clips around. It's just like any other video, you see what works best. And then when I'm like kind of a little bit fried of looking at the same thing for multiple hours in a row, I went and over and selected my photos. I use a thing called Adobe Bridge, and I just would mark the photos I wanted. And I take those, put them in a separate folder, and then I would take the photos I selected and then put it in Adobe Lightroom, and I would edit those. But I wouldn't do that yet. So I went back to editing the video, and the main one was vertical, but it's supposed to be in both. So I edited it in horizontal, and then I would go back, So when I was shooting, I have this monitor, which I'm looking at right here, frames it like vertical. So instead of just shooting in vertical and like being stuck in that position, I shoot in horizontal, but my monitor shows me what vertical look like. Here, let me just show you real quick, hold on. I have like no storage on my phone, but we're gonna make this work. So this is what it looks like. Like I'm still shooting in horizontal. I have this thing where it like frames it for vertical, so right? So that makes it real easy. So it's still shooting horizontal, but it shows me what vertical would look like. So, oh, let me turn that off, hold on. So it made it simple. Some adjustments you're gonna have to like move the clips around to like, it's called keyframing, and it like moves the clip within the software to make sure it stays within frame. So I did that on some of the clips in the vertical, but I edited in horizontal for the main base. And then once I got everything finished off, I adjusted the audio, got all the levels right, I color graded. And then at this point I have a draft of the video, and I exported that video, sent it off to the woman who put us all in connection, and she'd be the one that'd be approving all this. And while I was waiting on a response for that, I went back to editing the photos. It was pretty simple, just cropping them, color correcting them, and then getting the total number down to that designated range of 15 to 20 plus photos. And then I exported all those photos. At this point, she was cool with the video, duplicated the sequence, put it in vertical. So instead of 1920 by 1080, I went 1080 by 1920, and I adjusted all the clips to fit vertical. And then, like I said, some of them I would have to keyframe the video so the clip moves with that framing, just to make sure they're in frame and everything. And then another thing with vertical, it's only showing so much, so I can't, I can't show two, like that shot right there. There was one shot where they're both in frame. It was actually that cart shot with the low angle, and I just cut it up. And then on the first shot, I put one of them in frame, and then on the second part of that shot, put the other one in frame. It's the same shot, but you don't get that wide range like you do with horizontal. So that may not have worked, so I tried it out, and then if that was gonna work, I just would have switched the shots, but it ended up working out. It still flowed pretty smooth. At that point, it was done. So I exported the horizontal version, the vertical version, and then the photos, and then I sent them off. They got approved. She loved it, and this was all within 24 hours. I finished editing those within 24 hours. Again, I wasn't trying to do a rush job, but that was just my focus. I made sure to get this done. If I had more time, would this video have been better? I don't think so. Again, there's some things I could improve, but it's just tiny adjustments. It probably would have been 95% of the same video if I had a week to do this, right? Most of this production was shot heavy. The shooting was doing the heavy lifting. The 24-hour wasn't really a difference. And for those you don't know, Jay Moline, if you're watching this, I still have that 24-hour rule engraved in me. You know how long it took me to get that out of my system? Anyone from K-State that is watching this, do you know how long it took me to get that 24-hour mindset out of my system? I'm still kind of getting out of it. I still have to calm down sometimes. For those who don't know, at my time at Kansas State, when I really picked up on videography, we had this rule with events of relevancy. So you shoot something, it needed to be on social media within 24 hours. Obviously, there were some cases with the bigger type of shots, but any kind of like event or practice or whatever needed to be on the social medias within 24 hours. You just shoot it, edit it, get it up. So my starting career as a videographer was a little hardcore. It was a little like, you need to get stuff, you need to be, and I wanted my stuff to be good still, right? So I had to learn how to produce high quality content at a very quick and efficient rate, which I'm thankful for, right? It taught me a lot. And I think it's a good rule and understanding to have. Like I think it was very valuable. It wasn't without reason. 4 years of doing that allowed me to be able to produce this and not be stressed about it. Like obviously I need to get this done, and I was like, it's a little bit of a rush, like you're rushing still, but like that rush, I can still hit a flow. Like I can still be within my flow if I'm rushed. And it's because of that mentality, that rule we had at K-State. So one of those things that it worked out, but shout out Jay Moline. Hope he's doing good. Hope you're doing good, big dog. Shout out everyone at K-State for that. So it helped me out here. But it was done. I got approved, got it done within 24 hours, and that was done. And then the girls posted the vertical video and a batch of the photos. And then I was done. That was that. It went pretty good. Did I like the video? Yeah, I actually like it a lot. It turned out how I wanted. Again, there could be improvements in different places. Like, it's not like a perfect video, right? But for what it was, for what I needed to do, I'm really proud of it. I like it. It's a cool video. The girls were great to shoot with. The workers were great helping out. And it was cool. And I hope they get more NIL deals from it. I hope I get higher level shoots from it. You know, it all worked out. I hope you learned something from this, or I hope you enjoyed learning about what kind of goes on with these shoots. All these type of shoots come with their own unique battles, their own unique challenges, their own unique products. And it's just about balling. It's about putting your own creative twist on things while still meeting requirements. And I think that's what I did here. I think I did what I needed to do, and I produced. I balled. Dragonhead Films produced. I think for this video I earned Employee of the Week for Dragonhead Films. I'm the only employee. But you know what I mean? So, it's cool. I'm proud of this. I like it. I love it. I want some more of it. Oh! Ow! So, it was good. We're done though. But if you made it this far, thank you for watching. I appreciate you. I hope you have a blessed day. I hope you have a blessed week, blessed month, blessed year, blessed life. Stay frosty, stay ballin'. Thanks for watching, and be on the lookout for more videos. Till next time. Until next time, I hope you have a great time. Is that a bar or no? Yeah, whatever. Love you, bye. No. All right, bye. How do I sign these things off? I think that's cool, right? Whoa! Whoa! Yeah, I'm really rocking with this, dog. That's not even a light. He's just doing that. That's coming off the poster. That's Darth. That's my dog back there, Darth Vader. What y'all know about him? Y'all know about him? You can't see him right now, but that's just coming off the lightsaber. I know you were thinking it, so I just made sure I answer it. No, seriously. That's all for this video. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. Bye.
The schedule of a student athlete keeps us busy, so we don't have time to waste. That's why we stop at CVS.
CVS makes it easy for us. Everything we need in one place with affordable prices.
The products at CVS help us with our performance and recovery as athletes. Hydration, protein, skincare, or whatever I need, I know I can find it at CVS.
I feel safe knowing I can quickly run to the nearest CVS, regardless if we're at home or on the road, and find everything I need. That convenience allows me to keep my focus in the pool and in the classroom. As an athlete, it's about staying ready, and CVS just makes that easy for us. It's quick, it's affordable, and it fits our routine without slowing us down. And if you're not using Extra Care, you're missing out.
Extra Care customers always get the best deals.
And all you have to do is scan it at checkout.
CVS. It's just part of the routine.